The new Swiss Army knives with pocket clips are here, and a bunch of new weed CIVIVI releases, and a whole lot more cool stuff on today's episode of the New Knives of the Week, where I'm David C. Anderson coming at you from the KnifeCenter. And we've got those things that I just mentioned right here on the table in front of me. All right, the big news just a couple of weeks ago, of course, was Victorinox, the makers of the Swiss Army knife, unveiled these. They call it the Alox Refined Collection. We've got 3 new models. We've got the One Fold, the Synergy, and the Synergy X, each available in all 3 of these colors. We've got the silver, the red, and a new color, which is kind of a dark blue. The initial photos they released, it looked pretty black, but instead it's a nice, classy feeling blue. This wouldn't look out of place with dressier clothes, I would say. But no matter which color you pick, they got these pocket clips here on the back. Now they are fixed in place, they're non-removable. Anything's removable if you try hard enough, but they are fixed in place. And they're a little bit on the thinner side. They don't strike me as like the most durable pocket clips in the world, but they are there. And they are fairly deep carry, as you can see as well. But back to the actual shape of the handles here before we get into the tools. The new kind of pattern on these Alox handles is one of 2 things making these Swiss Army knives, or this series, a little bit safer perhaps than some others. The other feature is the locking tab right here. This is a liner locking knife. Now it is not a right-hand bias liner lock. You push it in the opposite way you're normally used to, but that gives you more safety and stability from, as we say, small whoopsies from the main blade accidentally closing on you. And where the Alox handles come into play to reinforce that, you've got a little bit more traction due to these cutouts in the blade. That's a small distinction, yes, over other Alox versions, but it's not a zero difference there. So I figured it's worthy of mention. That does give you that extra surface area, that extra grabbiness right there at the edge. Not so much that it's going to be like something that raises a hot spot as you use it, but hey, what are you going to do? Nice little thing. Let's start with the One Fold. It's got one thing that folds on it, hence the name. You've just got a solitary blade. They're sub 3-inch simple stainless steel blade, slightly thicker because we're dealing with the Alox models, the 93mm size of handle. Simple and quite elegant, actually, especially in this dark blue color. $56 for these. The Synergy adds onto that a nail file on the same layer as the main blade, as you can see right there. It's the newer actual cut nail file as opposed to the old, whatever the pattern was that they used to use.
File?
That's not this. No, it used to be like a pebbly orange peel thing, and I don't actually know how they made it, but it wasn't kind of cut in like a traditional file. This is more like a traditional file.
Calls it an emery board.
It's kind of like that, but it's not quite. Yeah, anyway, not important. It's the newer file style next to the blade. And then second layer, we have got the bottle opener with large flathead and wire stripper notch, and the new package or box opener tool that has still that same small flathead that the can opener tool has, that can also work as a pinch and some Phillips heads. But instead of the can opener functionality on the bottom half of it, you have 2 essentially sharpened sections. You've got the sharpened hump or sharpened nubbin right here. Nubbin's a good technical term. We should stick with that. And the kind of serrated section right here. I've been using one of their other tools that they released this year with this implement on it because I wanted to experience it. I wanted to kind of mess around with it. And it's been pretty good. It's not going to slice through tape on a box as cleanly as the blade would, but I really like it, especially so far in my use for opening those annoying retail clam packaging where everything's like sandwiched in plastic. This is real nice for getting in there precisely without going too deep and cutting what's underneath. It also works really nicely on cordage, string, and that sort of thing. So that is the Synergy. And for those familiar with Victorinox's nomenclature, the Synergy X, you will probably already have guessed the addition there. When they add an X to the model name, it means they have added a scissors layer as well. And Victorinox's scissors, for their size, outcut every other mini scissor I have ever cut with. They're actually really impressively good. there you go. That's the Synergy X. Prices on all of them, 56 on the one fold, 78 for the Synergy, 96 for the Synergy X. So you are gonna pay a bit of a premium over other Alox handled knives with similar layer sets, but you are getting the locking capabilities, the pocket clip, and in my opinion, especially with the Synergy X, a really nicely well-rounded set of tools. In fact, if they had this same set of tools on the smaller cadet frame, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I'm probably gonna buy one of these anyway. But that, you know, here I am just doing that thing that any multi-tool maker hates to hear as soon as they release a new thing. That's great, why don't you do it this way instead? Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Buy it.
Buy it. One other point I did have, our KnifeCenter exclusive Pioneer X right here in red Alox. It is a 3-layer Alox knife of the same frame size, but it is, the new Synergy X is ever so slightly thinner. And the only reason for that is the liner layer that has the liner lock is a little bit thicker than the standard liner on a non-locking model. Enough to make a huge difference? No, but I figured I'd mention it since I noticed it anyway. Shall we get to the CIVIVIs? So of course, CIVIVI is the middle child of the CIVIVI Sencut best, better, good.
So that means it'll be CIVIVI taking care of Wii when it's retired.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, CIVIVI, high quality knives at not too expensive of a price. The mini Shakan or Shakan is here. This was previously a Wii knife model, a more premium limited edition model. They've now brought it to the CIVIVI lineup as a regular line item, and it is a really sweet, classy little knife, I think. Just under $63. You've got a 2.5-inch Nitro V blade, great blade shape, nice and thin, full flat grind. It's going to do anything you want to use a pocket knife this small with to cut for on things. Anything you would use a small knife for, this blade is going to do really nicely.
This blade does prepositions.
Unlike myself. Nitro V is nice and tough, so even though it's thin, it's going to be pretty durable. It's stainless and holds an edge pretty well also. I mean, I really do quite enjoy the utility of that blade shape. Handles are aluminum. This is the Coyote Brown flavor. There are other flavors, of course, as well. And you've got the button lock. Gives you that finger-safe closing action, as I just showed. And the action is really nice, and it works pretty well for in the left hand as well. The pocket clip is also reversible and deep carry to maintain left and right utility. This could be a really nice, gentlemanly knife, man. Or gentle ladyish knife. Red handle with black blade also available, black handle with satin blade, a blue handle with a Damascus blade also available that looks really cool, but I'm kind of liking this cinnamon flavored option right here. Yeah, really nice. It's a 3-finger handle for me. Your mileage may vary. My hands are slightly larger than average, of course. A large or an extra large glove, depending on the company that's making it. Yeah, great small knife. I'm digging that a lot. About 80 bucks for the Damascus version, I'll say that. Next up, we also have a new version of the Yonder, the Zach in the Wild, Zach Whitmore design. I said Yonder already. Yonder, $61 for this one. 14C28N steel, black burlap handles, gold liners. A bit of a pop of contrast there, matching with the gold thumb studs. There you go. What do you want to know about the Yonder? It's also got a crazy thin blade. Not like insanely crazy, but like good kind of crazy. With a nice high flat grind, so it's going to slice really well. You got that spay or reverse tanto type of shape to it. Kind of a coffin outlined handle with a bit of a finger guard. It's neutral enough that even larger hands can work with it pretty well. It's kind of a 3.5 finger grip for me, but I can choke up around that finger guard pretty nicely and get a full chunky grip when I need to. Subtle or short deep carry pocket clip right there, keeping things nice and mini on the outside as well. And of course, the crossbar lock. And one thing I'm noticing with this, early versions of the Yonder, I felt like the spring tension was definitely on the light side. They've heavied things up a little bit on this. It doesn't feel quite as prone to coming open if it's just kind of kicking around in a bag somewhere. So I like that they've done that. That's a really smart tweak that they have made. The action is quite good. Ball bearings in the pivot, of course, size and shape that should work for a lot of people in a lot of environments. Next up, we have the Voidflare, and I picked the most eye-catchingest of the new versions here. All of them are pretty eye-catching, however. This starts at $63 for a black with gold liner version. There's also like a dragon scale resin. There's also this right here. What is it called? It's an aluminum foil G10. There's also a copper foil G10. This one right here is about 90 bucks because it comes with the Damascus blade as opposed to, what was it? 14C on the others. Sorry, I just had it in front of me too. Yeah, 14C 28N on the other options. They're using a mix of 9 and 10 CR steels in the Damascus here, which is very nice for the price for sure. You'll probably get slightly better edge retention out of the 14C 28N, but it shouldn't be too far behind with this. So you're not giving up too much by to gain the aesthetic beauty of this. And man, the look of that Damascus against that silver or the aluminum foil right there, so nice. Blade is 2.92. You got these distinctive fullers on each side, giving it a really nice look. Drop point blade, high flat grind, thin, not as thin as the Yonder, but still quite slicey. Action is quite good. As if we would expect anything else from a CIVIVI, their action is always very, very good on their liner lock flippers. Deep carry pocket clip with reversibility, nice thin edge. Let me see, is that a hollow grind? It's hard to tell actually with the Damascus, but yes, it is indeed a hollow grind. So for folks who like that, you've got that going on there too. If 90 bucks is too rich for your blood though, Sencut knives in terms of quality, they're the same. Like you get the exact same levels of fit and finish and quality with a Sencut that you do with the CIVIVI, which is saying something because CIVIVIs are quite good for the money. $39 for this new Stratex model. 3 different flavors are available. This is the Ivory G10 version with a just over 3-inch blade, and we're dealing with 9CR series stainless steel here. Very capable for the money. Very capable for $40. $39 exactly right now. And it's a fair amount of knife. It's not a huge knife, but it doesn't feel small. It's only like, 3.17, like I said. So it's not like it's a full size, like 3.5-inch knife or so, but it's kind of a full size feeling knife, especially when you compare it to the Yonder, which is a bit more minimal, but they've got the Over Yonder coming soon if you like that design and want something bigger, of course. Let's check out what else we have. We've got a deep carry pocket clip that is reversible. We've got ball bearings in the pivot and a liner lock. We've got 2 methods of deployment. You got thumb studs and a flipper. It works. I just missed.
Not even a front flipper.
I know, right? The thumb studs work great too. I like the blade shape here. I was talking a few weeks ago about how I'm enjoying that elliptical style of drop point a little bit more right now. And you've got a little bit of that here, that little flare before coming to the drop. It just gives it a really nice, graceful aesthetic to it. I dig that quite a bit. Full-size handle on that knife too, four fingers. Maybe that's why it feels more full-size than the rest so far. I mean, even the Voidflare here, it's kind of a 3 to 3.5 finger grip for me. But this Stratex here, I mean, that's a full-sized grip for me. That's pretty nice. Moving up to the more expensive end of the spectrum with We Knife Company, the new Jason Knight design, the Essential Knight. And it's kind of a perfect name for it because it has like those essential qualities and characteristics of a Jason Knight design. Check out this cool harpoon style clip point blade here, the long handle with that profile that he uses so successfully, especially on his bigger kukri, choppers and stuff like that. This is a cool knife, especially when you factor in this really nice titanium finish. It's almost like a lunar surface type of finish. They're calling it etched, like lunar surface. It has more of a...
That's more pockmarked.
It kind of has that thing going for it. It's really cool. But the lunar, connotation especially makes sense with this, grayed out version. There's also a black handle version and a black handle with black blade version. That one runs about $297. Actually, they're all priced at about sorry, $299. It's $298.95 for right now. Big full-size blade here, 3.6 inches, M390 steel, so edge retention's quite good. High flat grind and fullers. You've got a frame lock and a milled pocket clip there on the back. Lockup is super solid. Let's check out the action. There's probably two ways to open it. You could, well, three if you want to count the slow roll using that fuller right there, or the slow thumb open. Flipper tab works great. I mean, yeah, great action. Let me try, I haven't yet, to see if I can reverse flick it with that fuller. One can. It's deliberate. I really have to concentrate on getting in there because it's not a huge fuller, but it can absolutely be done. Yeah, I like the contour. I haven't mentioned that on the handle yet either. There's a little bit of shapeliness to it that works in concert with the profile to make it fit in the hand quite nicely indeed. Also on the full-size spectrum of the spectrum, we have the Corwyn, another frame lock flipper from them. 3.7-inch blade of M390 steel, $323 with titanium handles with 4 inlays, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. This is an aluminum foil carbon fiber, as opposed to the aluminum foil G10 we were using on that CIVIVI a second ago. Prices on these start at about just under $319, depending on which inlay version you get. This one right here is at $323. The cool thing about these inlays too is they're not just aesthetic. There actually is a bit of almost fluting milled into it. So you get some traction under your fingertips as you hold the knife. At least the way I'd hold the knife. But anyway, yeah, they function in addition to looking good, and I like the contrast between this color here and that kind of burnished handle finish on this one. What are they calling this handle finish? Bronze and black titanium, yeah, well, there you go. That works well enough for me. Frame lock again, flipper and thumb studs. The flipping action on this one is really satisfying. Part of that is you've got a bigger blade here that carries a bit more mass, and just the feel of it when it slams home into that locked position is, well, I want to do it one more time because it's nice. Yeah. Really nice. World-class stuff. The premium WE stuff is, for sure. Speaking of world-class, how about the Heretic Manticore E? This is from Blade Show 2025. Blade Show West, sorry, where I just was a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sorry I didn't show this earlier, but here it is. Very nice. What makes this special is, it says so right here. Well, it doesn't, it just says Blade Show West on it. But you've also got this really cool topographic pattern on the front and on the back of the black aluminum handles. Other than that, it's the Manticore E that we know and love. We've got a just over 3-inch blade, Magna Cut steel with a Tonto profile here. Magna Cut of cut awesome. Words. Magna Cut, of course, providing high strength to a high edge retention stainless. High toughness to a high edge retention stainless, which is a neat trick.
Now, if only you had high vocabulary. Something's
going on today. I'm sorry, folks. The action is quite good, as we've come to expect from any Heretic OTF. So that's boringly awesome right there. Boring because we expected, I guess, but it's really good. It's hard to be bored with excellence. Milled pocket clip on the back. It's reversible too. An OTF knife with a reversible clip is one of the kings of ambidextrous use, quite honestly, because it's just so symmetrical, so nice. And you've got a glass breaker bead at the back as well. Next up, I'm grinning already. From Bawidamann Blades, in collaboration with Peter Rosenti, we have the custom series Mukabout. How long can I hold this?
No, talk about.
But I just want to look at it.
It's more of a lookabout.
Longtime viewers of this channel will know that I'm a big fan of the Nessmuck blade, and this is a rather tactical interpretation of the Nessmuck blade that I haven't quite seen before, which makes me, as a fan of the Nessmuck blade, kind of happy. It's a bit of a Tonto Nessmuck hybrid going on, I would say. even this point here is kind of more defined than a traditional Nessmuck. So it almost, if you just looked at this part, it almost looks like a sheep's foot. I'm not going to introduce that into it though. We'll just say it's a Nessmucked, or Tontoed Nessmuck, or a mucky Tonto.
Reverse Tanto.
It is not. You shut your mouth.
Nah.
I like it. It's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. These are handmade knives. They're not full factory production or anything like this, and the price is going to reflect that a little bit. This is $435. The blade is 3 3/4. You've got CTS XHP steel. No compound grinds, but it is a hollow grind with this really cool kind of splattered, etched finish on it. This does actually have a little bit of texture to it. It's not just on the surface. It's giving you a little bit of relief. The handles are milled carbon fiber, or a carbon fiber composite, essentially. It's got almost like a graphite-like look. And honestly, what it reminds me of is Benchmade's CF Elite material in a way. Kind of, if you cross that with Richlight, it would look something like this. But it's carbon fiber composite. Getting in the weeds with all of that, aren't we? Yeah. What would you use a Tontoed, like a tactical-fied Nessmuck for? Well, I bet you would still do the skinning stuff well enough, but it leans more towards feeling just like bigger, slicier cuts, perhaps, than a straight-ahead Nessmuck would. The tip is still narrow enough, despite being on the broader side, that you could pierce with it. I would just EDC it. I would just cut stuff every day with it. I would look for things to cut with this because it's cool. It's awesome. Bolter-on sheath with a discrete carry. Is that discrete carry concepts, or is that the other guys? I never remember. It is discrete carry concepts with their inside the waistband clip. These can often be used to make a sheath pocket carryable, but this would be a lot to throw into your pocket. Do it, I dare you. Because it's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, we got a couple versions of that you could check out on the site. All right, next up, we have a Spyderco. And for those of you who don't like that Spydercos have a big hole in the blade, they have heard your concerns and thrown them out the window with this right here. This is actually sort of a return of an old concept in Spyderco's lineup. You used to see these cutout blade things on their Q lineup specifically. This, however, is a distributor exclusive with stuff on it. Hang on. You've got the Statue of Liberty, of course, engraved on each side of the Spy 27 blade. A very cool choice of steel for this, being Spyderco's proprietary powder metal steel. With that, you've got Black Dunes fat carbon for the handles. The model is the Paramilitary too. I hadn't mentioned that yet, of course. Very cool. You could talk about this, like how's this designed to work? And if we were talking about a regular PM2, I would say it's a knife that has a great blend of big size, big reach, but the nimbleness and handling of a smaller knife. The blade is about 3.5 inches long, and you do lose a little bit of that cutting edge in that given length because of their guarded finger choil here at the front that allows you to choke up for more precision. But if you don't, you've got more reach if you hold it in the standard hold right here. The blade geometry is great. It is full flat and slicey, but thick enough at the thickest points to carry some strength. That's, of course, less of the case here with this this cutout pattern going on. That's how we would talk about a normal PM2. This one is clearly designed to be sort of a display piece. The more holes out here are going to cause, hang-up points when you're actually cutting through stuff from a practical perspective. But again, it's not what the knife is about. The handles feel good. I like the look of the Black Dunes for sure. 4-position pocket clip, so you still could carry it each way, even if you ignore my advice and decide to actually carry it and use this knife day to day. And you've got the compression lock there at the back, which is always very nice. Finger safe closing action and the snappiness of a liner lock, which is always a nice thing. About $250 for this right now. Other non-cutty-outy blade shapes are available. What is the least expensive Paramilitary 2 these days? I'm not even sure. Let me check real quick for you folks.
I'm gonna guess the lightweight.
There is no PM2 lightweight yet. There may be in the future, but there isn't currently.
But it will be.
We don't know that. It'd be cool though. The Paramilitary 2 with an S45 VN blade, which should offer performance similar to the Spy 27, and black G10 handles is just under $200. So actually, in reality, it's not too big of a jump for the the extra stuff on the blade and the fancier handles. It's only about a $50 jump. You can get also for that same $198.75, you can get the blue G10 handle with a Spy 27 blade too. So, interesting. Very interesting, he says. Let's move on. More kind of higher end stuff here. The Talon from Grant and Gavin Hawk. We don't see these in very often, but we have a couple in stock right now, literally a couple as we are filming this. We have a very distinctive blade, of course. M390 steel, 3 3/8 of an inch long, titanium handles, Arctic Storm fat carbon inlays, and the big things here are some of the signature Hawk things. One, I'll get to the lock in a second, but you've got that kind of pocket clip, the spring-loaded, spring-tensioned milled titanium clip that's nice and chunky and gives a good amount of resistance. You have also got their their Hawk lock, which looks kind of like a button lock, but you pull it back kind of like a crossbar lock, but it's not a crossbar lock. Listen to that. That is so satisfying. The sound that makes when it pops free of the kind of locked in position. It's so nice. You could open it a couple ways. A way you cannot open it is by holding the lock button back and swinging it. Actually, hang on now. Oh. That was pretty funny. You kind of can if you really get into it, but it's not designed to wrist flick open, despite what just happened a second ago.
It won't stay open.
Apparently not. You've got the flipper tab here at the back, and you've got the thumb studs. The thumb studs are definitely on the smaller side. It's real satisfying when you get it right, though. The flipper tab is probably the most reliable way for me opening this knife. So nice. Man, even that like weak flip that I just did still found its way to a locked open position. That's really, really nice. Even though you can't wrist flick it open, you can wrist flick it closed in a finger safe manner too, which is quite nice. I'm gonna do it again. There's a reason these cost just about $1,100. Cheaper than Thomas's truck though.
Just.
With inflation, there's probably a bigger window than there used to be.
And insurance.
And all that. Man, that's so satisfying. Is this an everyday man's pocket knife? No. It's still awesome, and I'm still so glad we have it. And for those of you,
every day.
And for those of you saying it's too expensive and they're pricing themselves out, yada yada, we had 8 of these in when they first came in a little bit ago, and we're down to 2. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Let's talk about a Benchmade then, shall we? Limited edition version of the Taggedout, $300 for this one, and I like this color. And Benchmade has gotten really good at like evocative names for their colors. You could just say this is like a dark orange. That's boring. No one wants that. Copper suede, however, I want that. Copper suede Cerakote.
Toasted tangerine.
Toasted tangerine. That's good too. That's better than dark orange.
Benchmade, email me.
No, copper suede is still better, I think. Anyway, it's a Cerakote finish. Copper suede. Black G10 for the handles, gold accents alongside it. This would actually make a good like Halloween-themed knife that's not so Halloween-themed that you would feel like an idiot carrying it the rest of the year. So there you go. You got that going for you at least. The G10 versions of this knife, I really like the ergonomics in the hand. You've got full handle length for me. S45 VN on the blade itself, full size, 3.5 inches. Nice, thin with that high flat grind. This thing is all about slicing efficiency. And of course it has its roots in a hunting knife model as well. Very, very cool. Reversible deep carry pocket clip, ambidextrous crossbar lock. It's pretty smooth, but as is typically the case with coated Benchmades with the crossbar lock, with the axis lock, they take a little bit of breaking in as they kind of like polish their way into ultimate smoothness. That's just kind of comes with the territory with those particular versions, or those coated versions of their blades. Check it out, if you're so inclined. Let's get another more affordable knife on the table. From Finch Knife Company, this is the Devil's Finger, coming in at about $85. And there's various flavors available for the handle here. I went with the most devilish of the four that we could currently get. Blade, 3 inches long, 14C28N steel, very tapered drop point, giving you very acute tip performance. In a way, this is getting real close to a blade shape like the Kershaw Leak, which we call a modified Wharncliffe. So in the way the tip works, it might feel more like a Wharncliffe than a traditional drop point, like what was this? The Stratex, was that the name of this? I do like that blade. There's a lot of stuff I like this week. Anyway, back to this knife. The handles are G10 two-tone in all cases right now. With contour, they feel really nice. The flipper works nicely. You've got an inset liner lock there, giving you the security and the detent to provide that nice flipping action. Blade is not too thick. Grind is high enough that it'll be slicey without being, X-Acto knife slicey, but certainly slicey enough for most. Reversible wire pocket clip for carry, keeping things nice and classy from the outside as well. Next up, from Skallywag Tactical, we have the Mudskipper, coming in at $95 right now. This has a shorter blade, Tonto profile, about 2.7 inches on the length. Not crazy thick, but not crazy thin either, and about a saber height flat grind on the Tonto here, giving it, or lending it a little more towards the strengthier side as opposed to the slicier side. But again, I'm talking small degrees of difference here. It's not so thick that it's not going to slice decently well. The handle, however, really leans into kind of that chunky feeling in a good way, if that's what you're looking for. It's a 3-finger grip for me, and yet it feels kind of full size thanks to the thickness going on right there. Brown micarta here. I guess that's just a canvas. It's got a really kind of broad weave to it, but it's definitely not burlap. But it's really nice in any case. Reversible pocket clip, which is deep carry, and it's inset with flush mounted screws, and you've got the blockout plate on the opposite side to kind of cover up that cutout that would normally happen. Liner lock is inset. Let's check out the action. Well, there's the closed profile for you. Flips nicely with the tab. Let me try to reverse flick it. It's a little bit on the small side for me to get my finger in the right position. Let me try index finger. Ooh, index finger works really nicely, actually. I say. Flipper tab it is.
Just consider that one a batting average.
Yeah, there we go. If we're talking baseball, I'm doing really good then. Yeah, it's a thick, contoured handle that fills the hand nicely without having a huge footprint in the closed position. So definitely a use case for that. 14C28N steel, if I didn't mention that. If you'd rather your thick, chunky knives were really thick and chunky, here we go. The CJRB Tundra, priced at about $67, is immediately on the top of the list for affordable, true heavy-duty folding knives on the market right now. I mean, that price, right? That's kind of insane for a big, chunky knife like this. With a 3.8-inch blade, D2 steel. D2 is not necessarily the toughest steel. It holds an edge exceptionally well, especially when you're talking budget stuff. But to counteract that slight decrease in toughness from the steel, you've got thicker blade steel here, giving you a bigger physical wedge to power through difficult stuff. Is it going to slice as nicely as the thinner stuff here? No. You still do have a fairly high flat grind here to counteract that a bit, but this thing's all about the chunk. G10 handles. There's a satin or a stonewash blade and a black blade version. The stonewash blade has green G10. This one has black G10, of course. In addition to that, the liner lock is not the thickest, but it's thick enough to give you good lockup. You've got an oversized flipper tab and chunky thumb studs, meaning even if you're wearing heavy work gloves, you'd be able to use this knife when you really need to use your tool. If that was all this was at that price, it would already be compelling, but they go a step further and give you this. A hardened pin with threads on the end that can be screwed into this hole giving you an extra degree of lockup. And the way you screw this in, the way I've found easiest for these, you're going to be screwing in clockwise, unless you're south of the equator, I guess, but we won't get into that right now. So what you want to do, since this is attached by a cord right here, provided you're leaving it attached by the cord, first twist it a few times counterclockwise, or anti-clockwise if you're somewhere else in the world. That makes it easier. Something like that. That makes it easy. If you do that pre-twist, that makes it easier once you go to thread it to actually do the clockwise turn. Otherwise, you're having to kind of like, you know, the cord is kind of fighting against you as you do it. That makes it easier. Now, not only do you have the ability to move the liner lock without unlocking the blade, you've got really, really solid interface there for lockup. You've also got an lanyard here to hold on to the knife extra. Somehow. There's ways to do it. Anyway, this is a way to do it, perhaps. There's probably better ways to do it. I didn't practice this at all before we got on camera. I just said, hey, you could probably do that. 67 bucks. Very, very cool set of features for a heavy duty folder, especially when you consider the price.
Oh, editing trickery there.
All right, a couple more things. Woodsmonkey, one of LT Wright's brands, has brought back the Batwing. And we had a few of these in right after Blade Show Atlanta in June, right? Still in June. And we've got fresh ones in now. The Batwing was originally a Blind Horse Knives model, which was the company that LT was running as a partnership with another knife maker before they split and he became LT Wright Knives again. And now here is the knife resurrected, but in Magna Cut steel now, not the simple stainless or simple carbons that it used to be made out of. 125 bucks, made in the USA, chisel ground Magna Cut steel. It has not much of a handle to speak of. It's kind of a 2-finger grip, held like so. But you do have a lanyard with a nice friendly skull right there. It is Halloween season after all. And you could certainly use it carrying it in the thumb or the blade hole right there and gripping onto the lanyard. Although I might want the actual braided part a little shorter for me personally if I were doing that. But it's just a cool utility style knife. You're probably not going to be bushcrafting with it. You're not going to be doing tactical stuff with it. It's just a Magna Cut box cutter, basically, is how I would look at it. And it's very cool at being that. You've got a Kydex sheath with all of these, with compatibility for large or small tech locks if you want belt carry, but it is designed essentially to be a neck knife out of the box, so there aren't any attachment methods included. Tech locks are cheap, CIVIVI T-clips even cheaper. We'll leave links to those down below, of course. I think we always do, kind of generically, because they're so
part of the template.
They're just so handy. There you go. There's the Batwing. Check out the versions that we have in stock right now, as I struggle to get it off my finger. It's not a small hole, so I don't know why I'm struggling with that. We've also gotten restocked with their half Chete model, the half Chete. $159 for this, again, made in the US, and not made in a factory either. Blade is 1095 carbon. You've got that Latin style machete shape. You've got thinness there, so it can still move pretty quickly, but 1095 should stand up to most use cases for a machete-like small knife like this. Handles are micarta, kind of milled over on the sides, giving you a chamfer. That's how it differs from like the full hand builds of the LT Wright stuff that get shaped by hand and all that. This is not quite that level, but you're not going to find a 7-inch full-on LT Wright model at $159 either. But the handle gives you the ability to choke up, do the smaller knife stuff with it, and just enough reach to kind of reach out and do some light to medium chopping. You're probably not chopping a bunch of trees down like this, but you could do some small limbing. You could do some hacking of some slightly thicker stuff if you're working on preparing for a fire and that sort of thing. And you could certainly baton with it. You don't have a thick wedge to split wood like that, but you do have a fairly durable steel. Personally, I would probably wind up rounding this edge over just a little bit to make the choke back a little bit better. I'll leave that up to you, of course. The sheath is made by JRE Industries, but it's not your typical JRE sheath. It is a combination of fire hose and leather. There we go. You got fire hose main section, and you've got a collar in leather around the front with a belt loop and the dangler attachment right there. The collar has a couple of rivets on it, so you could attach it to some other gear with that if you wish, or you could carry it as you might any other conventional sheath. What more do you want to know? Let me know in the comments. Last, certainly not least, we have a fancy Opinel. And is this, doesn't say limited edition, so I guess it's not. It's a number 9. It's priced about $70, and you've got the fancier handle, essentially. It's composite, that's not the right word. It's 3 woods going on. You've got the standard ash, you've got black walnut, and sycamore maple. That must be the sycamore maple right there. There you go. It's interesting it says ash, because that looks a lot like their normal beechwood handle, but I must be mistaken in that case. They call it the CIME ring lock. Is that Cime? It's probably French that I don't know, and I didn't look it up either. I'm sorry. It's a cool Opinel. I don't know. It's the end of the video. If you're sticking with me here, you probably know what Opinels are all about, but if you don't, they're not the latest and greatest in terms of technology, certainly. But what they are good at is slicing so well. You've got a very thin blade with a very shallow convex grind on it. The edge, crazy thin, easy to keep razor sharp. And if you're the kind of person that really, like, truly appreciates slicing performance, it is very hard to not love an Opinel. They just do that cut thing so well. With a handle that's crazy comfortable too. If you don't care about the composite, a standard number 9 is still, I think, like, it's less than 20 bucks for the standard version. So you get a ton of slicing performance with a locking ring at a very good price. Or you could go fancier with this version right here. Anyway, that's all we have for right now, folks. Let me know what you thought of the knives down in the comments. And to get your hands on any of the ones for yourself, check out the links in the description, which will take you to KnifeCenter.com. While you're there, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our Sezzle payment options at checkout to make some of these more expensive knives a little bit easier to manage. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera, and we're signing off for now. See you next time.